Now, this next story is, well, it makes me angry. I'm sure it makes you angry as well when you hear these stories. You can almost call it a protected racket. And I'm talking about televangelists. That's right. The ones who rake in billions of dollars a year on donations because they are nonprofit ministries. Don't even have to declare any of this stuff. The men of the cloth don't have to tell anybody just how much they make or even how they spend it. They don't even have to pay taxes. And now a Senate panel is investigating a money trail that leads straight into the pocketbooks of several of these televangelists. We're talking about lavish lifestyles here. Rolls-Royce, $2,000 suits. And that's just the tip of the un-Christ-like personal greed involved in some of these churches. Ole Anthony is the president of the Trinity Foundation. He's investigated televangelists for 20 years now. You know, it's amazing. I mean, I'm a Christian, and I certainly believe in doing everything you can. And it doesn't mean that these guys aren't allowed to have a nice suit and a nice house and a nice car. But when you start talking about a Rolls-Royce and a several $1,000,000 home and private Lear jets and a $23,000 toilet, I mean, that's just over the pale, isn't it?
It's unbelievable. Somehow the church in America has been hijacked by greed. And it's very, very sad because it's a testimony on how we are not caring for the poor in our country.
I just think, and this is me, and maybe this is the part that makes me crazy. When I think of Jesus Christ, and I think of the way we as Christians in many cases worship today, we are so unlike him. So unlike him in so many ways. Would Jesus do any of these things? Would Jesus drive a Bentley? Would Jesus wear a $2,000 suit? I mean, would Jesus buy a toilet worth $23,000?
Well, how about would he live in a $12.5 million mansion or fly a Citation 10 jet or get plastic surgery for the man and woman so that they would appear nice on television? It's a travesty, and as I said, we are not caring for the poor. The poor and the needy are who Christ called us to meet their need, not to become greedy money grubbers.
You've looked into this. I mean, here's a couple of the names that are being investigated now by the Senate, and they're asking them to come clean and say, look, how much you got and what are you doing with it? There's one of them right there, Benny Hinn. Another one is Creflo Dollar. Another one is Kenneth Copeland, Bishop Eddie Long, Joyce Meyer, Randy White. Who are these people? Tell us about them.
Well, Benny Hinn is someone that I've met personally with. He made me a promise he was going to reform. He was going to stop living in mansions and driving expensive cars. He said we have to re-examine our calling because some of the ancient saints lived in caves. Now it's far worse now. He's got a $12.5 million mansion on the Pacific coast, and he doesn't even have a church. It's his parsonage.
You know what's amazing?
Randy and Paula White are, they just got a divorce. They probably argued over who had the best plastic surgery. It's a sham.
And they say that they have a right to be prosperous, and that's exactly what Jesus would have wanted us all to do. They make it sound like it's wrong to not have money or not spend it. You know, we're going to stay on this. I was talking to my staff earlier today, and we say, this is an important story that America needs to hear about. There's little old ladies out there who are giving their dollars to these guys, and they're using it like this, and they should be able to spend it, but not like this. It just seems wrong. Ole Anthony, you're good to bring us this information. We're going to call you back. Is that cool?
That's great.
I appreciate it, man.
Can I? Yep.
Go ahead. You want to finish up? Go ahead.
Well, there are many, many people in America that have been turned away from God by these men. And could I just say what I think God would say to these people?
Please.
He would say, "O stubborn and rebellious child, has my love no longer the power to melt your heart? Have you been driven away by those who claim to know me, but were filled with hypocrisy and greed and drunk with the stench of a death faith? Let the dead bury the dead. Let ignorance reproduce itself until it's weary of its own offspring. This is between you and me. You can no longer resist my spirit without suffering pain. Come back, all is forgiven."
You know, it's not every day that we let somebody quote that kind of scripture here on this show, but you know what? I'm glad we did. I think it was the right time. Thanks again for being with us. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Thank you.